Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We meet again. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. And as you probably saw from the title of this video, we're going to talk about something a little darker than we usually talk about. But all of this is, I'm going to preface this in regards to role-playing. It is October. Halloween's right around the corner. And in addition to all the ghosts and goblins and spooks and vampires and werewolves, you got witches, you got cultists, and there are no better than these two sources for inspiration when running a role-playing game that revolves around any of these topics, especially the witch and the witch hunter. The original and most well-known witch hunter of all time is none other than Solomon Kane by Robert E. Howard. And I will review these probably next month because this particular copy is kind of shoddy. Just to give you an example, the very first page is literally the first page of the first story. There's no copyright information, none of that. This is pure bootleg greatness or goodness, or I don't know what you call it, but this is not the one I want to review. I'm going to get a better copy, something that gives a little more credit where credit is due. But he is the quintessential witch hunter, maybe not officially ordained or anything like that in the stories, but all of our witch hunter tropes, for the most part, come from this, and maybe Monty Python's No One Expects the Spanish Inquisition video. Solomon Kane was written back in the 1930s, obviously, by Robert E. Howard, about a Puritan from the 17th century who deals with all manner of things that go bump in the night. And if you're a fan of Barrows and Borderlands, from our friend Matt over at Barrows and Borderlands, this has got to be high on your list when you're thinking about running some of the characters in that particular RPG, which I will, with any luck, be able to review before this month is over, because I know Matt has a special place in his heart for Solomon Kane and black powder weapons and things like that. Now, here's where it's going to get a little dark, but you guys know me. You guys know I'm a creature of the darkness, so to speak. Fond of it. I've spent most of my life there. And that brings us to the Malleus Maleficarum. No other book goes into the mind and the motivations of witch hunters of real historical accounts here on Earth. Written in 1486 by Heinrich Kramer, and it goes over all of the telltale signs of identifying witches and heretics and sorcerers and warlocks and all that, and the ways they dealt with them. I'm not saying I approve or disapprove. This is purely for fantasy game purposes, and if you want to get into the mind of and the behavior of and how the folks back in the day dealt with this sort of thing, and how you may want to incorporate it into your role-playing game, this is by far the best book. A book I've had on my shelves for 30, 40 years. I don't know for this particular version. I had another version back in the day, but that one suspiciously disappeared. I can only imagine where that went. And I had to pick up this copy and it's complete and has a lot of useful information when it comes to designing your witches, designing your witch hunters, even going so far as to describe how the townsfolk in your local gaming worlds may react to what sometimes is the most mundane of magics. But if you want to spice things up and you want to make things a little more realistic or a little darker, a little grittier, a little scarier for everyone involved, whether it be the players, the NPCs, the monsters, the characters, this is an invaluable resource to get into the minds of all the folks involved in the real world practices and destruction of all things heretical, all things sorceric, all things mystical that are not sanctioned by the local authorities, the local church, things like that. There's a lot of scary stuff in here, not for the faint of heart, and just, you know, be careful. Don't take it too seriously, but serious enough to make it improve your RPG, whatever that might be. You know, whether you're playing Pathfinder or good old-fashioned Dungeons and Dragons or Barrows and Borderlands or any of the other games that have come out over the decades since role-playing games became a thing. I'm really surprised this isn't talked about more when it comes to role-playing. I'm pretty sure our friend Doc Flamingo has probably perused this a few times for inspiration in his game, Age of Blood and Iron. If not, Doc, seriously, pick this up. It will definitely improve the next book you put out for Age of Blood and Iron. And for me, I'm going to keep this handy on my bookshelf just in case anything, you know, untoward comes lurking around my neighborhood. But in all seriousness, folks, these two books are, at least in my opinion, well worth the read. Definitely worth a couple of times for everything Solid and Kane. But that's what I've got for you this morning. It's only Tuesday. We've got a whole bunch more exciting stuff coming up this week. I hope to see all of you guys back here tomorrow morning. It looks like my Tuesday game is going to be canceled, so I'll probably be perusing the interwebs and YouTube land in the evening when I would normally be gaming. So don't be surprised if I pop into your chats. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And if you have any suggestions for more stuff to talk about that goes bump in the night, please put it down in the comment section below. I will see you guys real soon. And as always, happy trips.